Voice of Neal Ruhl, live on the Woodward Sports Network, 99.1 and 93.5 The Roar, the Woodward Sports app, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Let's talk some sports. It's Big D Energy.
Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back, everyone, to another week of Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. That guy over there, four-time Stanley Cup champion. Of course, he is Darren McCarty. We got Sam Flannel. He's on brand and on budget. Spencer Raxter. He's on brand and on budget as well. Happy to have you all with us. And remember, as is tradition, you can tap in on that YouTube chat there if you're watching on YouTube right now. However you're consuming the show, thank you for doing it. D-Mac, what was a weekend like, ma'am?
Weekend was great. Shout out to everybody up in Mayo, Michigan, Friday for the Red, White, and Blue Collar Fest. Shout out to my boy Chris Redburn, his band. They were playing up there, did the comedy up there. Did some band rehearsal, had a grind line, all four of us. Joey right here, Joey Kosher and Chris Draper and Kirk Maltby and myself did a signing over at Lakeside Mall. So it was good to get together with the guys and try to pick Drapes' brain a little bit, but it gives me nothing. Like I said, we're media now and officially, which is the nicest thing.
We were going to break down Sweden. We were going to break it all down. We figured that, you were out there for a couple hours with Chris and you were going to have all the juicy intel.
You think that no, we all know that.
He treats you like the enemy now,
all you need to know, right? With you being the draft capital guy going into the due diligence is done. Right, the due diligence as far as the bigger question or the bigger answer is I had to hear about pickleball for like 30 minutes and his ninja hands. And there was actually, if you look this up, I forgot to put it in the prep sheet, but Drapes sent me a text that TJ Watt said pickleball in a quote on his Twitter thread. Pickleball is underrated. So.
This pickleball thing's out of control, isn't it?
But the thing is that it doesn't take precedence over him being the amateur draft scouting. That is the most important thing to him. And I think when you talk about how they've done their homework, that's the one thing with this Red Wing organization, with Steve Eisman running it. You got it?
I found a story that says TJ Watt whooped in pickleball by local mom who had no idea who he was.
Seriously, like it's a big, like that's what it is. But the fact is the interviews have been done. And as far as the bottom line, what you should know as a Red Wing fan is that the Detroit Red Wings are going to get a really, really good player. With their pick. So the due diligence
is done. What the track record says.
The history continues. Here's the one thing that take it for what it is from my perspective is when I have these conversations with guys I've known for 30 years that are brothers to me, when we know each other, when we're BSing.
We know when you're sitting on something, right?
We know when we're sitting on something,
yep.
And we know when the due diligence, or I think the excitement. I mean, the guys see the excitement differently, in what I do, but it's our passions. And these are the guys' passions, is seriously going to rinks, talking to hockey players, drafting hockey players, looking for potential. As much passion as we have talking about sports or all the rest of the stuff that I do. So it's exciting. It's exciting. I tried to get in there and ask questions about who the next coach would be, but
you're the
here's the
now.
one thing. I don't think Drapes he doesn't know.
They're not there yet.
They're not there, but he's not even in the loop because it doesn't matter. They have a certain, when you ask Kirk Maltby too, talking to Maltby being the NHL scout about free agency, that they're going to make some moves. I don't know if there's the big guy to make a move out there, but they're going to add some pieces. And when Stevie adds pieces, what does he make them? He makes them expendable so that he can get a return back for them. Hence what he did with the Nick Leddy deal last summer. So the vibe that I got is that it's going to be an exciting time as we continue to build. Talked a little bit about the Swedish guys. About all of them coming over, obviously the excitement for Arvidsson, but there's an opportunity for guys to play, and it was exciting. It's always cool to get around and talk shop with the boys and stuff. We don't get to do it much anymore, but that's on the hockey front.
That's on the hockey front.
So, hey, that pickleball must be the thing. A little too much, but I mean, it's for all the Red Wing fans out there. Know this: I can guarantee Chris Draper has given up a comeback as an NHL hockey player. But I think he's going for the greatest over 50 pickleball player in the world.
So that's where it is.
So we'll have to watch.
All right. Well, I can't wait to see that play out. We got a big time show lined up for you here today. We will talk some Detroit Lions as well. We have another example of how our society is falling apart, and I'm going to ask the question, what's wrong with us again, because we always have to ask this question, it seems like. And that's twofold today, why we have to do that. We have an incident that happened in the Rangers-Lightning game, which we'll touch on in the second hour. But here's another example of where I want to know what's wrong with people. And you guys, look, we laugh about this, and it's fun. And you guys will send me tweets or direct messages on social media. And we chuckle, and it's funny and everything like that. Evan Stout sent me a tweet over the weekend, and it's concerning to me on multiple fronts. And no, not just because it was cream of wheat centered. Oddly enough, I'm stunned that I got cream of wheat tweets from people. But my problem overall is twofold. Number one, cream of wheat. You know that. But number two, Robert Kardashian has a cookbook out. But isn't it Kris Jenner's cookbook? I don't know. I don't keep up on that.
With the Robert Kardashian, so it's technically, I did a little bit more deep diving into this. It's a Kris Jenner cookbook that she put in and this was her, obviously the father of the Kardashian girls, Robert Kardashian, the lawyer for O.J. Simpson fame. Yeah, this is what he liked to eat.
Okay, so here we have it. This is a cookbook from Kris Jenner. Kris Jenner has put out. This is an actual cookbook where one of the recipes in said cookbook is to make cream of wheat according to the directions on the package, put some sugar on it, and serve with love. That's an actual recipe that's out there right now. And my question is, who's buying this cookbook? And then my follow-up question to that is, why? And here's the ultimate thing with it all. Boil it all down to this. If you're out there buying a cookbook to where the recipes are make cream of wheat according to the package, put some sugar in it, and serve it with love, you know what, D-Mac? I pride myself on a guy. I want you all to do what you want to do, man. Go be happy, whatever that means for you to be happy. Go do it. I want you to do it. However, I'm drawing the line here. If you buy this Kris Jenner cookbook that tells you to, quote, make cream of wheat according to the directions on the package and serve it with love, and that's the recipe. If you're buying this cookbook, do me a favor. Tap out of this show. For real. I know that's a cardinal sin in this business to say don't, but if you're buying this cookbook, get out. Get out, D-Mac. And I'll put it back on the people. Do you guys want to watch a show where people who would buy a Kris Jenner cookbook that tells you to, quote, make cream of wheat according to the directions on the package, sprinkle with sugar, serve with love? Do you want people watching the same show you're watching? Let's take that to the YouTube poll, shall we, Spencer? Do you want to watch a show that people will buy the Kris Jenner cookbook would watch?
Two questions come up, and Aaron Tackett, I agree, who's buying the cookbook and why. But more importantly, Neal, does that mean there's only one true way to make cream of wheat? I mean, if you got to go by the directions on the package, is that why? Maybe that may be your stance to the fact of why cream of wheat is so low and bland on your scale, because there's only one way to make it. Now you can put the bells and whistles on it, but I mean, I guess it's to your creativeness that there's no individuality and love. You hate that part.
No, it's not. It's not even that. No, I don't, D-Mac. I don't hate that. Okay, I don't. My problem is that if you're buying this cookbook, my problem's with you, personally, on a personal level. My problem is with you, because obviously it's easy to throw one by you. We got to be smarter together, okay? We got to be smarter than this, right? We got to be, D-Mac.
But you asked...
D-Mac.
But
D-Mac, we got to be smarter than this.
Neal, I understand where you're coming from, but obviously the reality is because we work in truth and accountability that we're not. That this goes out because you know why it's out there? Because people are buying it. Deep dive, how many have sold? No rack in our YouTube chat thread. No, you cannot, quote, have the address to the studio because it's only $17.99 on Amazon. No rack, you can't have it. And you know what? Get the guys in the back. Pull it off Google. Pull it off the website. No one can have the address to the studio. No, and if you send it, we're returning it because I'll know what it is.
NFL Draft Junkie said, Neal, go one step further. If you are a fan of anything Kardashian, tap out now. I'm a fan of some things Kardashian. I'll tell you that right now.
And
but
you know
is this
what?
a deeper thing into the Kardashian lifestyle? Is this the straw that breaks the camel's back? Because now that it's Chris,
No, because D-Mac, look,
or is
I
it
don't hate the
anybody's
hustle.
cookbook that has cream of wheat in it?
I don't hate their hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like the Paris Hiltons and the Kardashians and stuff like that.
Fall for the hustle.
But that's my problem.
Okay.
It's not with them. It's with the consumer that buys the Kris Jenner cookbook that tells you to, quote, make cream of wheat according to the directions on the package, put sugar in it, and serve with love. And that's a recipe in their cookbook. And you're going to buy it. That's the line. Like you say, I don't know what the line is. I'll know it when I see it. That's the line.
So that'd be like D-Mac putting in his ramen noodle recipe where it's open the package, empty it up, fill it with water, and microwave it for 4.5 minutes and serve with love. Pretty much same thing.
Oh, my gosh. You guys. Chuck Brewer. Neal, I voted to keep them because we need not be gatekeepers. Everybody needs to be welcome, except for people that will buy this cookbook. I feel it's like Austin Powers. I'm tolerant of everybody, except people that buy this cookbook. That's where I'm drawing the line, D-Mac.
Okay. All right. I'm not so hard-headed on it. I'm still in the overall acceptance. I mean, I'll do a deep dive into understand. Maybe I need to do a grind time onto people that love cream of wheat and why. Could be, something to go back. And it might just be because it's familiar, Neal. It's familiar. And obviously, if Robert Kardashian has it in his cookbook, it's got to be.
Southpaw Lab says we need to hold our celebrities to a higher level of accountability. These money grabs are getting outrageous. And Southpaw, again, I don't hate the hustle. I don't hate the fact that they came out with it. My problem's not with them. My problem's with every single person that buys the cookbook that tells you to, quote, prepare cream of wheat according to the directions on the package, put sugar in it, and serve with love. That's the recipe. That's it. That's the line. And we're not going to spend a ton of time on it. And no, Rack, you're not getting the address to the studio, and none of you are going to be cute and send this cookbook to the studio. Save the $17.99.
I'm gonna get it for you.
No,
for
you're
Father's
not.
Day.
Hey,
no, you're
you
not.
go.
I'm not participating. Look, a lot like David Blau tweets, I'm not participating in this either.
The NFL Draft Junkie just said that Kim Kardashian has a new jog in place video out, and Spencer just was the first one to buy it. True? Is that
I'd view that.
You know what? I cannot confirm nor deny, but you, my friend, will be able to confirm or deny tonight between 5 and 7. Woodward heavyweights. Give the people a little bit of what's going on.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're starting our live show. It's going to be on the Woodward Heavyweights channel. It's a little trial period we got going. It's we're going to be at the desk, 2 hours, live show, ad reads, commercials, the whole 9 yards. We're real excited to get these things going, get the people. We got a Would You Rather Jared Goff edition segment going on. We got a couple different things talking about some Pistons, some Lions, ranking Lions positional groups. What happened to Easy over the weekend and why he's going to be pulling up in a wheelchair. So we're pretty excited. I think we're ready to put on a good show for
I heard that there's I'm not going to go with his why he's got to apply the special cream. I mean, that's something you guys can get into. But I heard he performed his own surgery on his ACL.
Yeah.
That's how talented this guy is.
He learned it in Sweden. It's a Swedish execution that he
Can
did.
I address the Ask Easy from Friday?
Yeah, bad take easy, sure.
Yeah. If you don't want us to get on you, then don't have bad takes, bud. That's it. We just call it like you see it. So I seen him whining a little bit about how it's not fun.
He was in his feelings.
But did he not do it to himself? I'm trying to teach him that there's hills to die on, and there's certain ones that you shouldn't because you're going to take a lot of crap. So if you're going to be, you'll have to teach him that the heel side, Neal. You have to teach him the heel side. He hasn't embraced his heel yet.
Right. Okay.
That's why it's good when he's here. He can learn from you.
Chuck Brewer says, "I bet you get more than one copy." No, I'm going to be the guardian to the Kris Jenner cookbooks. I will be the guardian, D-Mac.
You know, I'll be the guardian. And Guardian Alarm, you know what? Even though Neal doesn't want you to, if you're cream of wheat, Guardian Alarm will protect your cream of wheat because they are your local security experts. So to keep you safe, to give you peace of mind, whether you're home or on the road, 24/7 local monitoring from the phone. So if you want it, and don't worry, if you have cream of wheat, you can have it. Give them a call, 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Everybody in the back so that they know Woodward Heavyweights tonight, 5 o'clock, 1-800.
Stay out.
Kris
Get
Jenner
out
cookbook,
of my
stay
house.
out.
Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. Tell them, Big D Energy sent you.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Neal Ruhl here for Chili Peppers Tanning, where you can join the Pepper Club and get all the best deals. As a matter of fact, they'll beat all competitors' prices by at least $5. Pepper Club, too, you can get that unlimited tanning option going. If that's what you want to do, feel free to do it. Chili Peppers Tanning has the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, and the darkest tans. 26 locations. More on the way. Go to chilipepperstanning.com to find out the one that's closest to you. Chili Peppers Tanning, y'all. Off and running, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, D-Mac, Darren, McCarty here in the house with you. Happy to have y'all along for the ride today. And, it's not going to be all Jenner cookbooks and stuff like that. We will get into some NFL. But I did want to touch on the Tigers for a couple of reasons. And, it went how you thought it would go when Toronto comes into town. And what do I mean by how you thought it would go? Number one, there'd be huge crowds. Number two, it'd be 2/3 Blue Jays fans, because that's what it was. And why not? They're young. They're exciting. They have young talent that they drafted that works out. And they got a good baseball team. That's it. They check all the boxes. But it was interesting because they did the Miggy celebration on Sunday. And they introed all the Tigers brass, including Chris Ilitch, including Avila. And Spencer, I would say the reaction was not, quote, warm for them.
Oh, no.
Cody Stavenhagen, the Tigers beat writer, said Chris Ilitch and Avila were introduced on the field for the Miggy celebration day. Plenty of people in the crowd booed. Jim Leland then got a rousing applause. And D-Mac, they let them know.
As they should, which obviously sort of made me proud. But my question, Neal, that I was wondering this weekend, listening to the game and for a little bit, and I flipped on through to see what the crowd was like, to see how many Blue Jays fans were in there, because I had a bunch of buddies that were over, that were down, and they get excited to come here. Tickets are cheaper. Right. They can stay for the weekend what they can in Toronto. But is anybody looking at the average, looking at the lackluster, the hitting? I mentioned to you before, just the fact, you mentioned me, Aaron Judge has 24 home runs. The Tigers have 31. And I think, like, the total
Can you please
number,
say that stat again? I believe you glossed over that right
the
there.
Aaron Judge of the Yankees has 24 home runs. The whole Tiger organization, Major League Baseball players, has 31.
Is that good in today's day and age of baseball? I'm asking for a
Is
friend.
that good in any day of baseball?
Yeah,
No, that's
1910.
But so here's the question, right? Obviously, and I like to move on to things that maybe could happen, because obviously, if we don't hear something that the booze would affect it, or do you expect Chris Ilitch to make a change at Avila? No. Avila is here no matter what. So let's go to some coaching, right? What about the hitting coach? Why does the hitting coach have a job still, right? If these guys are hitting so bad, do you not want to throw a spark in the organization? And isn't that an easier guy to fall on the...
See, I don't know. And D-Mac, you're probably a better barometer of this than me, being in
I'm just saying,
professional sports. Because that's AJ Hinch's hitting coach.
What?
That's AJ Hinch's hitting coach.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, is that true? Do you buy into that at all or no?
There's where your issue is too, right? Which leads it in. Will you tell me that? Which goes the deeper entwine, so they don't want to rock the boat with Hinch. And
right.
why would you want to rock the boat with Hinch? Because as the season goes on, look at the jobs that guys are getting fired from. The Joe Maddens, the Joe Girardis, the self-made teams. Something that if I'm AJ Hinch, am I not looking over the fence going, I'm dealing with this here? And that disappointing thing over the weekend, right? Neal playing was just, it's unfortunate. I was hoping that Tarek Skubal would continue with the way he's pitched at an all-star level, and he had a tough outing yesterday, which is sort of to be
he
expected.
got punished
but
for
he's
mistakes,
the only
yeah.
guy. That's why I dial in. I tune in to watch him pitch.
And you've said that in the past. That's your must-see.
That's it. I watched it, and then that's when I turned it off when it looked like he was struggling. But I mean, it goes to show you that's really sad. That's really sad. And you look at all but doesn't something have to? If you're not going to do anything, wouldn't that have to be a hit, or somebody has to fall on the sword a little bit, at least to show that you care?
Yeah, well, I mean, and here's the thing too, and it always comes back to
I never
this.
thought of that though, by the way, because the minute you tell me that, you go, that's Hinch's guy. Oh, okay, he's not going nowhere. That's the way it works.
But
Because
that's
you
why I
don't
bounce
want
it off
Hinch
you.
going anywhere.
Yeah.
You want to, piss Hinch off, then you cut one of his guys. So.
Yeah, and look.
And that's the sad part where we're talking about like the nepotism of the Old Boys Network, and we were talking about before the show, we were talking about Tony La Russa and stuff of that schmozzle going on over in Chicago, being that age. But I don't know, that just doesn't show me your eagerness to get out of it. Like you're not doing anything, and it goes to show that, you know what, Neal? Here's the thing. I bet you if you did a poll on did people that went to the game yesterday, they went to the game specifically so they get a chance to boo. I guarantee that. So I think that the best part was that it's apparent. Sort of like, a little bit at Ford Field. But do you think it's going to make a difference? Because I don't.
No, and it won't. And here's the deal, too.
Oh, by the way, still bare in the cupboard in the minors. Yeah, there's nothing there. Still,
there's
I just
not.
was wondering if you were wondering or wanted an update. Still nothing.
Still empty. Okay,
Still empty.
That's cool. See, here's the thing with me. That Toronto series this weekend, they got outscored, 17-4 in that series, and they got swept. And, hey, before you say no, Neal, no. They won on Saturday. Let me tell you why they got swept. They won on Saturday. The Toronto Blue Jays walked Javi Baez 3 times in a game on Saturday. You don't get to win games. God won't let you win a game when you walk Javi Baez 3 times unintentionally in the game. You don't get to win that game. So therefore, the Tigers don't get credit for winning that game. Toronto gets a loss. The Tigers shouldn't get a win. Now, if you say, but Neal, that's not the way it works. You can't win when you walk Javi Baez 3 times in a game. And let me tell you something else about Toronto. I know they're cute. And I know we're talking about them, about how they're the young and up-and-coming team, and they were a chic pick to win the World Series. When you walk Javi Baez 3 times in a game, you're not winning the World Series for the year. You're not going to do it. You can't win the World Series. The baseball gods will not let you win the World Series. So you can cross Toronto off that World Series list because, D-Mac, when you walk Javi Baez 3 times unintentionally, all of them unintentionally in a game, you're not good enough to win a World Series in any world.
So Javi Baez had nothing to do with that other than, not swinging at bad pitches? Or, I mean, it is a bad omen. And just for any of the baseball fans out there, there is good baseball being played across the league. Like you said, the Yankees team, Atlanta's on an 11-game winning streak. How about Atlanta? How about this stat, Neal? Heard this last night. Last 11 games Atlanta's won, they've averaged 6.7 runs. You know how many times Detroit scored 7 runs this year? 3.
Yeah, and one of them was the 3,000 hit game, right?
3.
Yeah.
And these guys are averaging 6.7 runs. So that's why it comes down to the bats and stuff like this. So it's just frustrating. But, I mean, it was nice out at the ballpark, so people got to go out. And, it's your prerogative. You pay the money. And
I'll go.
I think Chuck Brewer said it, is the guys who deserve to get cheered got cheered, and the guys who deserve to get booed sure got booed.
Yep.
Right?
Chuck says, Neal, that's a take on Easy's level. 1 game out of 162 decides they won't win the World Series. When you walk Javi Baez 3 times in a game, yes, that determines that you will not win the World Series. In my mind, yes, it does. And we'll see. Hey, we're going to see Toronto's not winning the World Series.
Tough division, though.
Well, and that certainly is a factor, too. Now, imagine being in that division and being the team that walked Javi Baez unintentionally 3 times in a game. That's a parlay you can't overcome.
No,
you can't beat the Yankees and the fact that you walk Javi Baez 3 times in a game. You can't do both. It's not possible.
No, it's just frustrating. But you got the White Sox in, and they're not playing. Obviously, they're not playing well at all. So, I mean, people continue to go down to the ballpark. But I think this weekend, especially being Tiger Fest, honoring the old team one day, honoring Miggy's 3,000 hits. You know what? That just. I just think, Neal, that when you say that, the bigger picture is, how about this? When you walk Javi Baez 3 times and you win, right? Like, how does that happen? So you're playing with fire because the bottom line is you're not going to get away with it to go further.
No, and things just roll on. And the White Sox are coming into town, and they're scuffling a bit. They're going to turn around at some point. They're too good.
Did you guys talk about Casey Mize? Tommy John, which is but I'm just saying there's another guy. You look at what are they trying to do? Cody Clemens gets called up. He's 0 for 17. It's not like there's different things. It just goes to show you really the reality of what we're living in is reality. It's not a misnomer. It's not something. And I know AJ Hinch keeps trying to tell us the positive and stuff like this, but really, more and more that this season goes on, the more and more it's just not where he's going, or it's not when he's going, it's where he's going. Yeah, and for me, you guys know my take on this because I did it about 2 months ago, and periodically I'll dig that video back up. This team was trending this way, and make no mistake, this team was trending this way way before everybody started getting hurt. Opening day, Jeimer Candelario's your cleanup hitter, man. You'll never get me to stop saying that. Because that's what it was. So, save the injuries and stuff like that. This roster isn't good enough. Period. It's not. Tell me I'm wrong. It's just so frustrating because you see the rest, like we were hearing about dead ball, but then you see the rest of the league, hammering the ball around, scoring runs and stuff like this. So to me, if you can't compete in that, I see in the chat thread, yeah, but our division, everybody struggles. Well, that's the only. It's not even a silver lining because then you're just fooling yourself by being caught in mediocrity. So then when you play the top teams like the Torontos and the other divisions and stuff like that, then you really don't have a chance. Yeah, and Kevin, look, man, I appreciate you watching the show and everything like that. But, to say that you can make a move on a wild, no, you can't. You just played the Yankees and the Blue Jays. You went 1-5. You got murdered in the games you lost. Stop, guys. Stop with this, please. For your sake. We sort of glossed over that Yankees series, too, didn't we? Just because of how embarrassing, how many runs they put up against us and just what they're doing. It was just sort of like, I mean, the reality is I think it continues to get worse before it ever gets better. With the people in charge that are still in charge. You know, with the Al as
the roster's the roster,
and
man.
even the coaches staff. You know, like that's the one. I don't know. Something's got to be done, doesn't it? You got to try to inject something in there, and usually that's when you bring kids up or give guys a chance. But there's nobody to give a chance to. They've given them all chances. Bo Brisky looked good the other day, though.
Yeah. DB Coop 25. Heel Neal. Why can't he have his own opinion? He can. You can. If you want to do that to yourself, feel free. But guys, we got to stop with this, man. No, they can't contend for a wild card. No, there's no help coming. This is what it is. I mean, we can continue to ignore it. You know, do what you want to do. That's fine, as long as part of what you want to do is get to Big Boy for Strawberry Fest, because it is back. They brought back the classic breakfast items like the strawberry French toast, the strawberry pancakes, and the official eats of Spencer Raxter, the strawberry waffle. Sounds nice. Make it twice. Back-to-back segments. He can knock down 2 of them. He's done it before. We've all seen it. If you're not a breakfast person, try the strawberry bacon chicken wrap, the crispy chicken wrap, the nacho wrap, or the strawberry salad. The perfect recipe for springtime, rolling into summertime. Yeah, it's going to be in the mid-90s here in a couple days, so we're jumping right into it. And don't forget to grab dessert. That's the point of all this. That's the whole point of Strawberry Fest. The slice of strawberry pie for $1.99 with a $7.99 purchase at participating Big Boy locations. Don't lose money, folks. All the crypto people, you lost enough money today. Start earning some of it back by taking advantage of the $1.99 strawberry slice of pie at Big Boy at Strawberry Fest.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device. Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, D-Mac, Darren, McCarty here in the house. We got Sam Flannel, we got Spencer Raxter. We got all you guys on YouTube chat, thread, social media, however you want to get involved. Feel free to jump in. Chuck says we're only 9.5 games out in our division, have to move past 3 teams. Our only hope is to win the division. And Chuck, you know, yeah, you're 9.5 games behind 3 teams in a division that plays each other 19
owns the
times.
Brand? I own the brand, right? These guys are smoking. Holy cow. Wow. Can you please, Woodward Sports, can we give them the address? Because they can send me some of this stuff, because I got to check this stuff out. Because, oh my gosh. Get off the hard stuff, boys. That is like, that's so ridiculous. What is your record that you have to do for the last 100 games? Go 80-20?
Is 66% still in play?
Oh my gosh.
I was told that it was. You know, you start doing the math on it, guys.
Don't you get embarrassed when you hear things like that?
Well, Kevin told me you're not going to be the one to steal my dreams. And guys, like, that's fine. Do what you want to do. I'm just hitting you with the math on it. And when you start talking about this whole division thing, 9.5 games back, okay, here's the deal with it, guys. You're 11 games under 500. The Twins are 8 games over 500. In a division where you play each other 19 times, which means those 3 teams in front of you are playing each other. It's most of the time, which means you have to win every single time they play each other, or you're going to lose ground to somebody. Like, guys, think about that. You're 11 games under 500. The leader's 8 over. How are you going to make that up? People act like you can just do this in a week, like go on a 7-game winning streak and you're back in it. No.
Look at what, last week or whatever, didn't we win 4 or 5 or something like this? Right? Like we put a little stretch together. We're all like,
won 6 of 8.
That's for 1 week. You got to do that every week for the rest of the season because of where you've put yourself.
And then when you go to New York and get swept.
Somebody give me the numbers, but what is the percentage of that? It's got to be less than like 2% because of everything else that goes on with every other team winning and games being won and lost. And
now we're getting to the point, because we're just about 62 in, every game you play is 1% of the clock. 1% of the clock ticks off. Like that's – and guys, look, hey, do what you want to do. You want to have hope and all that stuff because that's all you got? That's fine. But I don't want it glossed over. This roster. This roster, guys.
Mike G, there is no Tigers clock. We didn't create it. And yes, it's permanently broken and out in the shop until further testimony. The good thing is though that Lions clock, we're getting as disappointing as the Tigers are, Neal. The things that are coming out of Allen Park for the Lions and stuff like this, things we're hearing with the Pistons and even the Red Wings and stuff. At least there's that going there, but it's just because at the end of the day, it's just sad. It's just really, 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 really sad, and it goes back to what you expect when you got Jamer Candelaire as your cleanup hitter.
Yeah, and hey, look, I got to apologize to CJ Schneider. He says I was having such a nice morning, and I didn't want it to go dark like this. It's just. When I hear people say that, like the wild card's still in play, how? You just played the Yankees and the Blue Jays. Like how? Sam Flannel, help me understand.
There is nothing to understand because the Tigers are done. And this idea, too, that the division is so weak, yeah, it's weak, but the Twins have been pretty good. They're 8 games over 500. And also, I got to address one quick thing. Sorry for being long-winded. This whole Carlos Correa is having a terrible season copium that Tigers fans were using. He is now hitting .303 with a .372 on-base percentage and .837 OPS, 5 home runs, 19 RBIs. Javi Baez is hitting .197 with a .242 on-base percentage.
Oh my God.
And an OPS at .537. The difference between those two players is leaps and bounds. Carlos Correa is great. He was worth over $300 million, and I will stand by that till the day I die. And Javier Baez sucks. He's awful. Get him off the team.
Hey, listen. You never had a chance to get Correa because he was never coming here. Because if we're talking about it as a player, you know the dysfunction even more so going on. I see a comment in here, is it time to start selling? Sell what?
Who do you want off this
Struble.
roster?
There you go. You got one guy, maybe a couple guys in the bullpen, for a team, but you got nothing. Oh, well, package some minor league guy. You got nothing.
Literally nothing.
Frustrating.
Sam Flannel, who in the minor leagues? Who signed Jackson Jobe in 3 years?
Riley Green. He's coming back from injury.
I mean, I know that he's hurt. He's here for all intents and purposes. He's here. I know he's here because Torkelson. They're gonna ride with Torkelson right now. They are, because what other choice is there? Him hitting 190 is better than any option they have in the system right now.
Unfortunately, it's true. And the other big hope is Jackson Jobe, but he was a high school pitcher. High school pitchers.
He went to prom last year.
He did, and he's not going to be ready for a long time, if at all. He might have a Tommy John surgery before he ever enters the MLB. And I'm not trying to be negative. That's just true. That's what happens. High school pitchers are just such a crapshoot. Man, are we really depending on Jackson Jobe? You shouldn't. You better not.
You know when they work? Is when you got a great system. And you got something like Tampa Bay, Atlanta, where they have pitchers coming in that they can learn from guys ahead of them, and there's a sort of a process to them, right? Where you see where the development and on the timeline. Because look at Tampa Bay. Look at some of the organizations that produce these pitchers, right? That get these high school guys. So a lot of times, to me, it's more apparent coming down to making the decision, right? It's always making the decision. Look at the difference. And you're trolling there, Brandon, when he says Eisman's been here since 2019 and didn't do anything. Okay. All right, bud. But it's because he's building. So you look and compare the Tigers to the Red Wings and what you have on the roster. It's about the first 3-4 years is about building it with the Siders and the Raymonds and the draft choices. So when you say, ridiculous things like that, it doesn't hold weight. Because when you go to the Tigers, That's where nothing's been done. There's no future. There's no hope, Neal, until the change is made.
And I go, and you guys, I've talked about this before, like my B team, I guess, is the Miami Marlins. I spend a lot of time down there, so I go to some of the games. And Sam Flannel, like you look at them and like guys like Sandy Alcantara and Jazz Chisholm, who's 24 years old and has 13 home runs or 12 home runs, whatever. Seems like every day he's hitting a home run. Alcantara's striking out 8 guys every single time that he goes out there to pitch. You know what I'm saying? And they went to the playoffs recently with nothing. Nothing.
They've won 2 World Series since they've been in existence. And they came into existence in the mid-'90s. It's still been since 1984 since the Tigers have won one. They know how to build. They can't keep them together, but they got 2 World Series. I'm sure they would take that. I'm sure we would take that as Tiger fans.
Right. So, that's what it is. And, again, Kevin Bell says put Torque in the 3-hole and watch his numbers jump.
What?
How? When you get a hit 19% of the time, how are those numbers going to jump, man? And I like Torque. I do. I believe in his skill set. I think he's a modern-day hitter where he will take walks and hit home runs eventually. It's just not fair what we're asking of Torque and Skubal and Riley. Can you imagine when Riley Green comes in here, can you imagine the pressure on him?
Oh, man.
Think about that.
Yeah.
And Baez, the booze raining down on Baez. Seems like he's starting to crack a little bit. It's ugly, man. Like that's... And I hate to do this on the Monday, and I didn't mean for it to go this way, although I should have suspected, because what else you going to say? What else you going to say, D-Mac? We had the same conversations over and over again. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to do, man.
I love this. Most GMs don't get 4 years to show progress. Right, that's why Avila should be out. And you know what? Most GMs aren't Steve Yzerman. Like, you guys are such idiots. Like, go back to the day before he was hired. Go back to what the salary was. Go back to the salary cap. Go back to the draft. Go back to your prospects. Go back to all this. And then come to today and show me where the progress has and they're moving forward. The problem is to do it right, Neal, takes time in any league because you have to solidify the foundation.
It's twofold what he has to do, what Yzerman had to do.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's
what
not
Brad
about
Holmes
on the
has
ice.
To do.
Wait till I tell you when it's time to put the focus on the ice. Now, we got fooled a little bit this year because of the way they played at the beginning of the season. But the fact is the guy at the top is looking down going, we had regression on both sides of the puck, which means that how many times are you trying to ascend in something and you hit a plateau or something bad doesn't happen and you valley, right? And things don't go. It's not always the positive moving forward, right? But when you look back to the progress that you've had, I think that people, that is just so ridiculous. Especially, you know what? GMs should get more time if they're building and they're showing progress.
Well, and here's the thing with Yzerman.
And Troy Weaver we're doing the same, are doing sort of the same sort of thing. Would you agree with?
Yeah, Brad Holmes and Yzerman have the exact same cleanup duty.
That's what I'm saying. Right now, don't get it twisted. There's a time where rubber's got to hit the road, and it's time for the team on the ice to produce, just like it's time for the football team to produce and the basketball team to produce. But the things in the organization and the twofold, the threefold things behind the scenes, that's what matters. I mean, it's just
D-Mac,
like,
here,
you're not
I'll give
gonna
it to
give
you.
Me like that. You're just dumb.
I'll give it to you, D-Mac.
Like that is just. It's like I'd like to address at some point. I know we got to go to break, but it's just like me saying the other day, and I stand by that this quote, right? If you're comparing eras, Steven Stamkos is the Steve Yzerman of this era. Right? With what his leadership, the way that he performs, the subtleties, the fact that he's not the number one when you're thinking Kucherov and stuff like that, like you were thinking Sergei. But I see it more and more and more. So it's just when I get pushed back on things that I know, right? Because I've played that you're right, like, and I guess that's a frustrating thing, Neal, being that I'm a huge Tigers fan from day one. And the rest of the teams, that's great that they're improving. But this Tigers team, there's no hope in sight. I can't give you a clock. I can't give you years. I can say honestly that the Red Wings will be in the playoffs in 2 years, or else Yzerman will be on the hot seat. How's that? You want that one? So there you go. I mean, it's crazy.
Real quick, I'll give you the red letter. And you know me, I'm singular point person here with Yzerman. When he took the job, Franz Nielsen had 3 years left on his contract at $5.5 million per. That's all you need to know. That's the situation that he walked into, my friend. Hey, NBA Finals tonight, pivotal Game 5. Stanley Cup Finals, they're set too, Tampa and Colorado. MLB season is in full swing, and there's no better place to get that action down than MyBookie. That's right. When you sign up for a new account today, use a promo code Woodward. MyBookie will match part of your first deposit up to 50% in free bet. So, hey, you want to bet the Tigers to win the World Series because you think they're going to turn it around and qualify for the wild card and punch through and win that World Series? Go ahead. You'll get a big return on that investment at MyBookie. Again, sign up for a new account. Use a promo code Woodward. They'll match part of your first deposit up to 50% in free bets. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Have a problem with gambling? Call the Michigan Gambling Hotline. 1-800-270-7117.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the Bottom Line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live, all right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Ribbit on a Monday. Yeah, when you need apparel, there is only one place to go. That's Big Frog and Novi.
Big Frog?
With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour, yes, 24-hour turnaround. You can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing. Big Frog has the styles you want, so visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG. That's 844 for Big Frog. That's bigfrog.com/Novi. Tell them Big D Energy sent you.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here in the building as well. Did want to change it up a little bit because, we got to talk some football. I was watching CFL all weekend, Spencer.
You gotta love it.
I was, man. I was watching. How about that comeback by Winnipeg the other night? They were dead in the water.
Yeah. It's
champion's heart.
It's nothing like it, man. It's just, see, that's what I think, like, those other brands have to do, like the USFL, or they got to change something. Like the CFL is fun because you can catch off a bounce, you can get a running start going to the line, like stuff like that.
No,
is what makes it more fun.
Spencer, like, it's not even that, man. It's very, very simple. The starting quarterbacks in the CFL make $250,000 a year.
Yeah.
Like, Jeremiah Masoli is a starting quarterback. Is he an NFL quarterback?
No.
Is he a good quarterback, though? Yeah.
He's better than anybody in the USFL.
Anybody in the USFL. Yeah. Anybody in the USFL, wherever. Is he better than Cade Cunningham? Is he better than
Shea Patterson?
Yeah, Shea Patterson.
Undoubtedly.
Is he better than Cade McNamara?
Yeah, probably.
Hey, can I just address April 19th, 2019 would be 3 years, not 4 years, you friggin' idiot. So, like, the whole thing is, and Yzerman's the GM to build the team, not the coach to win the games, you idiot. So, like, seriously, you're an idiot. I know you've been on here a lot times too, but gosh darn it, that's just the worst. That could be the worst take I've ever seen in my life, Neal. And I deal with Easy every day.
He keeps
Are
saying,
Easy and Brandon related, or are they the same guy? I mean,
Nah,
like,
don't do that to Brandon.
That is ridiculous. So get your time straight first, and there'll be no. Okay, here it is. You got no Joe Dumars. There'll be no Steve Yzerman blasphemy towards me unless it's coming from me. Because why? Because I'm his bitch. You got it? All right? So screw off, all of yous. I'll fight you. I'll come. We're at Woodward Sports.
No. Don't tell them where we're at. I don't want any Jenner cookbooks.
Woodward Sports, Lady Jane headquarters, Birmingham.
No Jenner cookbooks.
Bring the cream of wheat.
Just don't bring the Jenner cookbook.
So I guess I just laid it down today. There'll be no Yzerman blasphemy to me. Directed to somebody else who don't let me see it. Until it's time to blasphemize a guy. Do you not think that I want to run his show up and down and tell you how bad he is? Right? When he's doing that? Just, guys, it's just, I'm done. I'm done. That's it. You're not going to suck my positive energy out the rest of the day.
Avila did that already for the quota for the morning.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? Like, that's the whole thing. Get on a guy that deserves to be gone. Throw this rant on a guy that's been here for 7 years or 9 years or whatever like that. All right, go ahead.
All right, let's go. How about some football? People are clamoring for it. They say we're talking too much baseball, which I don't know that we're talking. See, here's the thing with the baseball discussion. Like, it's not a baseball discussion. It's a transactional discussion, and people like that, man. They do. People like free agency and drafts more than they like the games now. That's just the way that it is. It's proven.
Well, especially in Detroit.
Yeah. Lions discussion, and Spencer hits us with these from time to time, these little critical questions that I think are pretty cool. And he sent this one out today. Who has the most pressure on them this season of these three? Jared Goff, Dan Campbell, or Jeff Okudah? And it's an open-ended conversation. And I guess it's open to interpretation how you want to define it.
I guess the conversation starts, Neal, is, okay, what pressure is on them? And then you figure out who's carrying the heaviest weight of that pressure. And
I like the way that you say that, because for me, I think it's undoubtedly Jeff Okudah.
I undoubtedly think it is, too.
Yeah, because he's playing
Dan
for
Campbell
a career.
has a little bit of time in developing this and moving forward with what they've built. And yes, his coaching's got to get better. I think his coaching did get better as the year went on. So you'd see that there's a microscope, right? There is a spotlight and a microscope going to be on Dan Campbell, decisions that he makes. Jared Goff, obviously, the pressure is more to himself to prove whether he is the guy to get that next deal, right? That's a strict money issue. Well, Jeff Okudah, third overall, cornerback, obviously making the money that he does. That's a big thing. One of the things, Neal, I think that the most pressure is on Okudah is because of his hit to the salary cap and because of where his contract is, being drafted third overall, let alone the talent that it could be.
Because remember, he's the fourth highest paid player on this team.
And
that's not his fault.
The reality.
Yeah.
So the thing is that you have to get some return in him. And the return is to get him on the field to see what he has, to know whether, hey, we got to move on from this guy, or could we actually have maybe a surprise or a diamond in the rough or something that we didn't count on that is like, what do you call it, the bonus baby at the back end? Right, that you wouldn't count on as a guy that you thought was missed. And you see this in hockey a lot of times because guys are drafted young, maybe in the first rounders, and they don't develop in a system, and then they move on. The first person that comes to mind, highly touted coming out of junior, Dan Cleary, won a cup with an 08. Chicago Blackhawks, he played junior in Belleville where I was, but it took him like 4 or 5 years to figure it out, and he came through and obviously won cups here, so...
Bad Take Easy has made an appearance in the YouTube chat thread. The answer's Goff. If the dude doesn't do well, he gets cut from a $30 million deal he'll never get again. So, Easy, I would say, what's the backup plan to that? He ain't going anywhere, my friend. There were no quarterbacks drafted. It's very Avila-like as far as a quarterback situation with the Lions. There's no one coming. Like he ain't going anywhere. There's no pressure on Goff. I mean, obviously, there's that I'm a starting quarterback in the NFL pressure that comes with the position for every single player in the league. Jeff Okudah's playing for his life this year. And again, I know because this is something that I'm told all the time when we talk about Jeff Okudah. And the line is always, Neal, it's not his fault where he got drafted. It is now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he's the 4th highest paid player on the team this year. If it doesn't go well this year, next year you'll save $5-ish million in cap space if you cut him. You see what I'm saying? Like, the numbers are adding up quickly, and we have to find out an answer.
Well, and here's the thing too, right? And I see in the chat our own Juicy Jeff Iafrady had said it's Dan Campbell, because even Schwartz was able to improve from a 2-win to a 6-win season or something, and he'd be concerned if after 2 seasons Dan Campbell only had 7 wins. Well, here's the whole thing. I think that all that goes into the process of my clock, right? And to see how it is. I think the record is one thing, but it's the development of the players, right? Because if you can get a healthy Okudah on the field, right, you get some production from Goff and stuff like this, you would think that would lead to wins, but sometimes it doesn't, right? So it's more a lot of the eyeball test to him, what we're doing moving forward. So I don't think, there's pressure on him, but I don't think this is where he's over the fire.
It's not Okudah pressure. You know what I'm saying? Where
Right.
And D-Mac, look, you faced this multiple times in your career, when you're a rookie, probably when you went out to Calgary, where you know when you come into camp, you're playing for your life when you get in there, because it's this or it's go do air conditioning and furnaces, right? Like, right? You know,
no one
your
wants
words,
to do that.
man.
I grew up in that.
Yeah.
It's the reason I worked so hard to make it to where I was.
No
one wants
that's
to put your third furnace in, Neal. That's a fact.
Because D-Mac, if you don't make it, I'm going to have you over to the house to put in a third furnace. No, but that's my point though. With like Jeff Okudah is this year, again, and I know it's down the road, but no one's talking about it because you're not thinking about it because it's not in the now. Next year, Sam Flannel, you pay him like 10. Your cap hit next year, if you keep him, is like $10.6 million. Your dead cap, if you cut him, is $5.5. So you're saving $5 million if you cut him next year.
And it's for somebody who unfortunately has shown nothing but not a poor rookie season and a terrible injury in his second year. So,
but here's the thing,
right?
When we explain the why, right? When he's drafted into the guys that he was drafted by that organization, and it's a COVID time, and he's got to learn the playbook and everything working against. I'm trying to explain why this situation, why it could be a great situation, because at the end of the day, are we counting on Okudah to do anything? Because I'm not. I want him to.
So do I.
I want him to show out and to show and everything and be everything that he can be. But I can explain why he was up against it to begin with. And he didn't get off to a good start, but he's been behind the 8 ball, so to speak, from day one. And like you said, with injuries, but with availability. And I just hope he gets to show whether he can or he can't and isn't held back, because it could be for all the reasons. Because he's working with Aaron Glenn. Because they see the talent that he has. Now he's got to go produce. You're right. But this could be one of those deals where he comes back, is effective, and then you've gotten your 3rd overall pick. He's never going to be that 3rd overall pick, Hall of Fame guy, the guy that we always hear before the draft. If you pick a quarterback at 3, he's got to be a Hall of Fame guy.
He's got to be Deion Sanders.
He's got to be
this
this guy. He's not going to be that. But can he still be a first-round talent? Yeah, I think it's still out there to be determined. But the fact that he's available, the fact that he's in training camp, the fact that we hear, his excitement, and the fact that he's been putting in the work, I'm excited for him. So, but this is put up or shut up.
No, 100%. It is, and we are going to talk about it some more after I tell you that for $0 down and $10 a month, you can get a membership at Planet Fitness with access to your home club. I was just there this morning, getting it in, logging those miles on the treadmill. And you can do that at Planet Fitness because there's treadmills 4 miles in there. There's always more than enough equipment. You can get the work in, get out of there at Planet Fitness, and no matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness nearby. You're going to pass 2 on the way home. Slide on in there. Join their in-club or go to planetfitness.com. Join on your computer right now. And remember, from May 19th to August 31st, kids ages 15 to 19 can get a free summertime workout pass and get their work in all summer long at Planet Fitness. It's Planet Fitness, D-Mac.
Where your fitness is essential.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Hey, Scott from the Woodward Bet Show. Hey, don't mind me. I'm just counting my winnings from last week. And another thing, you guys got to make sure you're checking us out at 4:30. I haven't missed the NBA Finals game yet. Tune in to see who I go with tonight. Also, you guys got to check out my new favorite app, oddstrader.com. It's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, and it's the best place to check all the odds at all the sports books right in the palm of your hand. But hey, let's get to some winners tonight. I told you I'd give you a winner in the NBA, but you got to watch the show. But I will tell you one thing. Let's go with the over in this Minnesota-Seattle game. Both pitchers suck. We think there's going to be lots of scoring. oddstrader.com. Woodward Bets. Check it out.
What's up, folks? Our friends at Alta Equipment know that when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alta Equipment services all makes and models, and their technicians, they're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So with the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan, there's nothing your project can throw at you that Alta can't handle. Give them a call today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA today. Alta Equipment, where uptime matters.
Pulling up on the second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal, Ruhl, D-Mac, Darren, McCarty. Remember, you get involved in our YouTube chat thread that's going on if you're watching on YouTube or if you're listening on radio on 93.5 The Roar, the podcast page, however you're doing it. Appreciate you tapping in. We got Sam Flannel. What's the day count of consecutive days of flannel, Sam?
Believe it or not, we are at 75.
75. And only, 280-ish more to go? Was this more than you thought it was going to be, the whole 365 days of flannel?
It's actually been quite a bit easier. Now that I got the short sleeve ones, it's going by really fast. Honestly, even when the 365 is up, I don't know if anyone would recognize me without a flannel. I might just have to keep doing it.
You might have to keep doing it. Are we going to get the gun show going at some point?
Oh, yeah. We're definitely going to get that back and running again, especially if the temperatures continue to be like they are this week. Oh, it's coming back.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 100 degrees on Wednesday.
Hey.
Let's go, Sam.
Completely no sleeve flannel.
Can we do it? Can we do it Wednesday?
Yes.
Can we get the guns out on Wednesday?
Yes, we can. I promise. I will.
The sun's going to be out Wednesday. That's going to be a hot day. Sun's out, guns out, Sammy Flannel style.
Yeah, let's do it. It's hanging in my closet right now. Ready.
It's ready. It's ready to rock. Okay.
Ready to rock.
We got to get Fish a little mini flannel or something like that, so Fish can when they're
like a Ken Dow flannel.
When the Boost got guns out, sun's out, guns out. Then can you imagine Fish? I'm gonna get you your own little cutoff flannel, so when you're in there.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it
see
though.
It, right? We got the Bloods and the Crips.
We got Spencer Raxter as well, but we are talking Lions. Who has the most pressure on them this year? On our YouTube chat poll, we have it up there. 47% of you are with D-Mac and I and say Jeff Okudah. 38% of you say Goff, and 15% say Dan Campbell. And the YouTube chat thread, CJ Schneider, $5 million isn't really anything, though. Are you going to find a corner of the same caliber at $5 million? Is Okudah a $5 million corner? But that's the question. I mean, it's 2.5% of your cap, 2.5%ish. So I mean, it's not nothing. But at the same time, you know, if it doesn't work this year, CJ, then he's not a $5 million corner.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And he's definitely not. And remember, if you keep him, he's a $10 million, almost an $11 million corner.
Yeah, so he's got to almost prove his worth. It's a big year. It's a huge year, and
I'm not one of these people that's crass about it. You know, that it just dismiss the guy and that's it. It's over. I'm certainly not like that. But he'll be the first one to tell you this is a business.
Oh, absolutely. But
D-Mac, is pro sports a business?
What if it works out?
I want it to work out.
What if it works out? What
Good
if
for the
he
Lions.
plays to his potential?
As a number 3 overall, love it. Want it.
Right, exactly. Then you're willing. Then you know that you're gonna have to pay them, and so the Lions actually want to pay him the $10 million.
Everybody wants him.
They want him to be good enough.
I want him to give him the $10 million because if you're an elite cornerback, that's a discount to market.
But here's the bad thing: is the track record that he has to go on.
It's not looking promising.
There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why it's so important. He's just got to stay healthy. I think if he stays healthy, I think that good things will happen for him this year.
Yeah, and, I know we had Speakeasy. It's 100% Goff. The Lions save $20 million if they cut him, and they can address the position in the draft. Okay, Easy. You're just going to go pick a quarterback out of the draft and roll out. And, as you come up to your year with $100 million in cap space, you're just going to pick a quarterback out of the draft and say, all right, let's go. They're not doing that, my friend. They're comfortable with Goff. He's not going anywhere. To me, Goff has the least amount of pressure. And Jeff Iafrate from Woodward talked about it. If they come out and have a 3-win year, what are you talking about now with Dan Campbell? You're talking about 6 wins in 2 years, 6-28 record?
That's why I said the clock, right? So it's the end of the season. The clock expires. We'll know a lot more on the coaching front. But he brings up a great point, but I don't think the pressure's on Dan Campbell till the results are in.
Yeah.
Till the seasonal results are in, right? So along the way to what it's been, because yes, if this team struggles and doesn't show improvement or going anywhere from last year, then it's going to shift. Doesn't matter how good the rest of them play. If they're not winning games, it's going to go, why aren't they winning? Is it the coach?
There you have it.
Not biting off enough kneecaps or something. I don't know.
Right. Pistons fan says, yes, you can pick a rookie quarterback and use that space to build around him. And Easy says, yes, that's how it works, Neal. Isn't this exactly what Neal says all the time? Rookie QB deals. Yes, but with a quarterback. Like, you're not just going to take the guy and throw him in there. Even when you did that with Peyton Manning, it was a 3-13 year. You know what I'm saying? If you have a bad year this year and you're Dan Campbell, you can't afford another 3-13 year. You see how this is fluid? You see how this works? You see how it develops?
Yeah, because when you go with the new quarterback, you are going to have the losing year or the down year for the most part, right, as they develop. And usually most quarterbacks sit out for a year, right, learn behind the veteran and stuff like that, then get implemented in unless they're thrown in. How well does it work for guys like Sam Darnold to get thrown in there to the Wolves and stuff like that, right? So, yeah, I think as it goes on, but it could be it's more revolving to the end result of what the team. I think what the big thing with Goff is he a guy who's a serviceable guy that can get the job done with the weapons around him, right? Because now you need the guy to facilitate. Because can we agree that there's weapons out there now on offense? Right? In every position. Do we have NFL weapons at every position? Yes. So it's up to Goff. The pressure is for him to show that he's as serviceable as what they want. Because then, Neal, to your point, that takes a big question mark out of the team's progress to where they're going to go, and they can focus on other things. Think about the money that they can spend or the focus that they could be on. You look at what they've done this year offensively, moving up. And so they're willing to make trades. They're willing to get better. They believe in Goff, so we should believe in Goff, at least right now. Until
that's what I was told. He's going to throw for 5,500 yards. Pistons fan 11, if Goff stinks, they replace.
That's ridiculous.
Pistons fan 11, if Goff stinks, they replace Goff, not Campbell. I might have
flagged you a little bit on that. I was going to throw it. I'm just like, well, that was a warning. That wasn't fair.
You said if Goff stinks, they replace Goff, not Campbell. Okay, so let me paint that scenario for you then. If Goff, quote-unquote, stinks and they win 4 games and you're 7-27 as Dan Campbell, you mean to tell me you're cutting Goff and you're bringing in a rookie quarterback and you're going to have another 3-win season?
No, we're going to hear about
So you're going to be 10-48 or whatever that number is? No, because you're getting fired. This is it, guys. Like, they're running with Jared Goff minimum the next 2 years. When they didn't take a quarterback this year, that told me all I needed to know.
Yep.
Because as Sam Flannel says, as information changes, because I'm getting roasted right now saying, Well, Neal, weren't you the one saying take a quarterback? Yes, I was this year because it fit the timeline. It doesn't fit the timeline now because how are you guys going to look me in the eye and say Dan Campbell has is 10-41 after 3 years? How are you going to look me in the eye and say they're not going to get rid of Dan Campbell? How are you going to look me in the eye and say that? For real. Spencer, you tell me, Spencer. You look me in the eye and tell me Dan Campbell's through 3 years and he's 10-41. You tell me with a rookie quarterback that just won 3 games. Tell me.
Yeah, it's a tough sell. I mean, you could see what he did building this team. You could talk about how he's a leader of men, how he rallies the troops, and that's what you want. And he never really had the quarterback in place. So that's really the only thing that you could put against him or towards him in that argument, is that he never had his guy to go in there and win games. But it's a hard sell if you got a guy that wins 9 games in 3 years as a head coach. There's not many jobs in the NFL you'll keep if you have that kind of production. So
Motown Cool says he's not getting fired. If he's 10-41, what are you going to say on this microphone?
Yeah, I would, if he's 10-41 after 3 years and he's got a rookie quarterback, I think he'd get one more year. If his third season is a 4-win season with a rookie quarterback, he has 10 wins, then I think he'd get one more year. Because like you said, even with Peyton Manning, with stuff like that, you got those guys that don't just hop in there and have immediate success. So you got to give him a little leeway with the rookie, but still, it's like I said, it's tough to bring back a head coach that has that kind of production. But Easy said it in the chat, they signed a 6-year deal because they knew this was going to take a while. It's the same as with the Red Wings, the same as with the Pistons, where you had to break everything down first. You had to blow it all up and then start building it back up. So
except in football, you can do it quicker.
In football, you can do it quicker for sure.
But it's still a 3-4 year process, right? Or 2-3 years. Like you look at Cincinnati. But still, that's a 2-3 year process. And look at their first year with Burrow. I know he got hurt and stuff like this, but to your point, you throw a rookie in there, for the most part, that's a development season.
Right. And Pistons fan says you're creating a scenario where predicting records. No, I'm putting the pieces of the puzzle that you guys are saying. I'm putting all those pieces together because as negative as everyone is about Goff, like, this is a year where he has to prove it. Okay, if he's bad and you cut him, what is that? If he's bad, what's the season? Like, you're predicting records. Okay, your scenario plays out. He's bad. They cut him. So they've won, 4 games? 5 tops? Right?
Where do they pick? Where do they pick?
What's that, 7, 8?
That's the whole problem, too, because you're saying all this quarterback talk. If the quarterbacks are good enough, they usually go in the top 5. If you win 4, 5, 6 games, so it begs to question, do you even have the opportunity to get one of these guys?
Yeah, I'm not predicting records. I'm putting the puzzle pieces together, man. Like, it's not... it's not a hard puzzle. It's one of those jumbo ones.
With what they've done offensively, that Goff doesn't have to be as much as even the guy as he was late in the season last year. He's just got to distribute the ball, take care of it, make good decisions that he's win games, right? That's what he's got to do. You need the proverbial game manager, right? Which I think he's more than that. Right, but I think that they're committed to him as this is the guy that's going to get them moving forward. To your point about what do you always say? Brad Holmes is going to win a playoff game, right?
Yeah.
Brad Holmes believes Jared Goff is going to win him that playoff game.
Absolutely. And I believe on Thursday when I'm on the golf course after the show, I believe I'm going to have a mulligan made by Gypsy Vodka. I believe it in my soul because it's going to happen. The mulligan is the official drink of summer. If you're out on the golf course, if you're hanging out in the backyard, the mulligan is calling your name. Ask for a mulligan at the local golf course or at a Total Wine near you. It's Gypsy Vodka. As always, drink responsibly.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Strawberry Fest is back at Big Boy. We brought back some of the classic breakfast items like the strawberry French toast, hot cakes, and waffle. If you're not feeling breakfast, try our new strawberry bacon chicken wrap. Crispy chicken wrap, nacho wrap, or strawberry salad. The perfect recipe for springtime. And don't forget to grab dessert, including our berry delicious strawberry pie for only $1.99 with the purchase of $7.99 or more at participating Big Boy locations.
What's going on, everybody? It's Spencer for the Fulling Warehouse in Hamtramck. You know it. You've heard of it. It's the home of the original football bowling pin game called Fulling. Multiple ways you can play. They've got $12 open unlimited play. You can stay there open till close, have a good time. They also have private lane reservation, $120, 10 to 12 people. Get your own lane. Do whatever you want. Bring in any type of food you want. They don't care. You get thirsty? They've got a $2 mystery beer vending machine. You put in $2, pops you out a good beer. No hassle, no fuss needed. Know what you want to make a decision. They have multiple fully loaded bars for you to choose from. So come on down and check them out in Hamtramck at the Fulling Warehouse, or visit them online at fullingwarehouse.com. Again, that is fullingwarehouse.com.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, D-Mac, Darren McCarty here in the house. Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxer. You know the players here in the game. Now that mystery beer vending machine, man. I was at Fulling 2 weeks ago. It's just, even when it's not you getting it, it's exciting to see the process go. I'm standing there at the bar.
What did you see come out?
Somebody hit a Miller Genuine Draft.
Ooh, MGD.
Nice.
I ride with Miller Genuine
For
Draft.
sure.
I'll take that over Miller Lite anytime.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
Anytime.
Easily. Or a High Life.
Or
I'll
a
take
High
them
Life,
both.
no doubt. I'll take a High Life.
Life's champagne of beers.
Yeah, it says it on the bottle.
That's for sure.
I'll dump a lime in a Miller High Life.
Oh, yeah. I don't mind High Lives.
Yeah. I'll put a lime in there.
Dude, you know what? I hate to admit it, but when it's summer out, the Bud Light Limes hit.
They slap, don't they?
Bud Light Limes hit.
Low key.
Yeah, I can put down some Bud Light Limes. When it's summer, hot out, you're out by the pool, give me summer shandy or some Bud Light Limes. I'm good with it.
This man.
He knows.
This man right there. I love it. See, because like when I drink them, like I got to look around the corner. Like when we're on the golf course, I look around the corner. I make sure, D-Mac's not over there in the woods, going to pop out and make fun of me or anything like that. And I make sure.
Bud Light Lime.
Yeah. and like I'll get it real quick and I'll go back to the cart. Mm-hmm. And then my buddy will be like, Bud Light Lime. Oh, it's all they had left.
Yeah.
I make sure she drives away.
Yeah, they didn't have anything
That's all they had left, man. Like, it was that or White Claw.
Yeah.
So that's the way that I do that. Pistons fan 11. No, you're literally predicting records, saying 3 wins over and over again. What did Peyton Manning do his rookie year?
313, I believe, 25 touchdowns, 28 interceptions. It wasn't a very good rookie year, but look how he turned out.
You see what I'm just putting the puzzle pieces in place of the puzzle you gave me. That's what I'm doing and working back from it. So, Joseph Austin says Goff the next 2 years regardless. And Joseph's right, man. That's what all this told me. Because Chuck says unless there were no quarterbacks to get. And that's my other thing, too. People are like, we're going to cut Goff and get a quarterback. Yeah? Yeah? Because how did that work last year?
The top couple guys are going to go first and second. Stroud. Who else is up there?
Young.
But it's not like this year where Kenny Pickett's going to go 20th overall. Guys are going to fall. There's talent there this year. Bryce Petty, too, out of Alabama or whatever. So
Slovis.
But there is guys
but
there.
You look at the number 1 overall quarterback prospect when college football kicked off last year.
The Rat. Spencer Rattler had the greatest NIL. I loved his logo.
Yeah.
Ain't got to see it, though.
Like, things change quickly.
Things change.
I'll tell you what. You can ask Easy. You can ask the heavyweight listeners. I've been saying it for a little while now that I think that guy that's going to explode onto the scene in the quarterbacks is DJ Lungaluye.
Bounce back year?
I really think so. He's a big kid. He's got a cannon arm. He's like 6'4". He lost a bunch of talent at Clemson last year, so he didn't have much to work with. But I think Dabo's going to coach him up. I think he's going to have a big year. I could see him being a first-round guy this year.
Yeah, so, and we'll have that discussion, certainly, as things are on. We'll have that discussion multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be talking about that for a very long time. Something else I want to talk about, because I saw this go around social media, and it made me think of the Big Ten, Spencer.
Oh, yeah.
Made me think of Michigan, made me think of the Big Ten. This was an interesting tweet that I saw out there in the social media stratosphere. It's official. No school in the Big Ten made it further than Michigan in any of the 4 major men's sports during the 21-22 school year. So that got me to thinking. And again, you know how we work this, D-Mac. We'll go to Sam Flannel for official comment from the Michigan Nation. Is that more Michigan is back, or is that an indictment on the Big Ten? Because you know which one I think it is.
Of course it's an indictment on the Big Ten. Sorry to all you Michigan fans, but I'm just speaking truth. Because in football, what did they do? They got to the college football playoff and got destroyed by a superior Georgia team. In basketball, they made the Sweet 16, yeah, but they were 8th in their conference in the regular season. I was the only Michigan person in sports media saying that it was a disappointing basketball season, because it was. And as far as college baseball goes, did you know a Big Ten school hasn't won a title since 1966? And in hockey, they haven't won one since 2007. It's an indictment on the Big Ten, and I really hate that Michigan is putting that out there, especially with the basketball stuff. That season was trash. They were number 6 coming into the season. They were the number 6 ranked team, and they were 8th in the Big Ten in the regular season. They were lucky to even make the tournament. Their only big win this year was against Tennessee, and we'd all agree that was a very impressive win.
Good win,
in the round of 32, but that didn't mean they deserved to be there. It's obviously the Big Ten is weak. It's obvious, and I'm the Michigan slappy on the show. So if I say it, it obviously is true.
So are you hanging a banner? Hanging a banner at Chrysler or whatever? Is this something that you sort of take a little bit of pride in, or is it not mean anything? Because in reality, the records are what they are.
It doesn't really mean... I mean, making the college football playoff and winning the Big Ten in football, that meant a lot to me. But the reality is the perception of the Big Ten besides Ohio State, and it's the right perception, is when they play the big boys, when they get to the college football playoff, they're going to get killed, because it happened to Michigan State and it happened to Michigan. And it was just as bad of losses for both schools.
All right, here's my Michigan question of the day, because obviously you saw over the weekend or Friday, whatever, CJ Carr, Lloyd Carr's grandson from Saline, committed to Notre Dame. As a Michigan fan, is that upset? Like, where are the Michigan fans? The fact that because it's a legacy, because does it feel like a kick in the plums? Was this somebody that you were expecting, or is it that you understand that he's not going to play behind the guys that you have here, so there's no ill will, or does that? Because that seemed to me when I saw it that it might rub some Michigan fans the wrong way.
That was the takeaway when we talked about it on Friday. I was disgusted by the Michigan fans on Twitter with their reactions to where an 18-year-old kid chose to go to school. I was disgusted by it, and we put some of them on the board. I don't want to do it again.
No, but I just wondering, but doesn't that play down to the fact of? Do you think it's more to the talent in the quarterback room that he'd have to wait behind and when he'd be able to come through and play, or do you think it's the opportunity at Notre Dame?
Here's what it is. He just wanted to go to Notre Dame more than he wanted to go to Michigan.
And what's wrong with that?
I think Sam had a really good point when we talked about it on Friday about, he said, like, you saw what Harbaugh did bringing in the Wilson Spate and that delaying the production and the talent growth of McCaffrey and Joe Milton, and then you saw him he's doing the same thing now. He's got a 5-star waiting, and he's got Cade McNamara playing. So why would you, as a quarterback who wants to go in there, make a name for yourself, go to a program where it's shown that he cares about bringing in a guy instead of playing his 5-star guys, instead of
I want to make the point that this ain't your Lloyd Carr Michigan Wolverines or your Bower the way that it is, to the fact that is, I think that to number one, it is a huge thing. Opportunity and playing and seeing what's gone on before, because obviously if Jim Harbaugh's a quarterback guru, or he's supposed to be, then people will want to be there. But obviously there might be more hindering if you're the backup guy not getting the progress. You mentioned facts with some of the quarterbacks that have come into the quarterbacks that are on the roster now. I'm just wondering. I just thought, because I wasn't in on Friday and I needed to hear from Sam. But yeah, that is pretty shallow to the fact because it's just because it's Lloyd Carr's grandson, right? Because you're supposed to keep the legacy down the line and this like that. Well, don't all your favorite pros have kids that play on other teams sometimes? You know what I'm saying? I don't see the big deal.
Yeah, I think it was a big shock to the Michigan system too to see Lloyd Carr in the Notre Dame hat with the picture on social media. Yeah, because it's his grandson.
So
man.
Does this tell you? But does this? So let me dig deeper. Does this have? Is there more to it in the culture of Michigan that we're not seeing? Like the fact of that, because to your point, Neal, you complete my fact. That Lloyd Carr's 2022 is his grandkid. He's going to put on a Notre Dame hat. That would have never happened. You know what I'm saying? And I think that Michigan people say, oh, you can't do that. Oh, you can't wear that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because of that prevailing Michigan mentality from 40 years ago, which is how they operate. Let me tell you how the sports marketing agency operates. They help spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse disorder. Their podcast, This is the F Word, help spread awareness of fentanyl and other addictions that are plaguing our community. If you're struggling with mental health issues or someone you know is struggling, go to thesportsma.com. Again, thesportsma.com, the sports marketing agency. They're here to help.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the Bottom Line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live, all right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Here for oddstrader.com, the #1 site for all of your game day betting activity. It's where you can start your handicapping journey, at oddstrader.com. Play-by-play updates, live scores, bet tracking. Want access to it all? Download the OddsTrader app from the App Store today. Get you the best price on every game. I think that's the most important aspect of what OddsTrader does. Get you the best price. Don't give anything away. Sign-up offers from multiple sportsbook are all broken down as well on oddstrader.com. Player stats, key game stats, all available at oddstrader.com. Coming down the stretch here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal, Ruhl, D-Mac, Darren, McCarty here in the building. Spencer Raxter, Sam Flannel as well. We're talking Michigan, not Michigan per se. To me, this is a bigger indictment of the Big Ten as a whole. And for those of you that are just joining the show, came across a tweet on social media that mentioned the fact that Michigan got the furthest, I guess, is that the terminology, in basketball, football, hockey, and baseball. Michigan got the furthest of all the Big Ten teams in all of those sports. Sam Flannel's upset because he says the basketball season was fraudulent. For me, the football thing, we talked about it. I broke down the Michigan football season. They went 1-2 in games that mattered. And that's against teams with a pulse.
What's it tell you about the rest of, like where Sam said, the rest of the
Big Ten, man? Like, you got Purdue out there. It's not like
you're setting a bar like the Yankees.
Right. And that's the thing. And look, they did it. They beat Ohio State. They got to the college football playoff. Forever, when you look back at it, Michigan was in that playoff. You can't take that away from them. Certainly you can't. That's fine. They made it. The basketball thing, the hockey thing, the baseball thing, whatever. To me, I guess it's solid. C.J. Schneider said, the Big Ten's weak, but I'm not going to be upset about a successful athletic season. And my snap reaction was it successful, though? But I guess across the board it was. It's fine. But to me, it's more of an indictment on the Big Ten. Like, we're still living under this Big Ten, is a great conference. And yes, they make the money. They make more money, I think, than any conference makes in terms of media rights deals and stuff like that. And that is ultimately how you keep score, I guess. But when you boil all this down, man, the Big Ten, I don't remember them being this down as a whole. I don't.
No, but it just got me thinking to that point where you said where they own the sponsorship or getting that money. Is it a case of maybe becoming a bit of a fat cat, knowing that you do keep score by the dollar sign, so at the end of the day that's the priority, instead of maybe the priority was winning more 40 years ago than it is? And how can it not be? Because the money is in the billions, right? Look at the social media deal that the Big Ten signed, right? Where every year, there's 60, 70 million going to each team. Does that not make you a little bit, you push where's your to work for it? Whereas other teams or smaller schools or whatever, like the Oaklands or whatever, have to, grind with the relationships and make sure that they're fresh and stuff like this. I don't know. Do you look into it that because there's so much money out there and because they have that maybe it's gotten them not softer, but just the priorities aren't as much?
Sure. No, sure. CJ Schneider, the MSU game didn't matter, Neal. LMAO, Neal trying to say the MSU game mattered the same amount as OSU in Georgia. No, it did, because it turned out Michigan State had a pulse, unlike anybody else that you guys played on your schedule all year long. Michigan State, Ohio State, Georgia.
And if they won that MSU game, they probably would have played Cincinnati in the college football champion or the Final Four instead of Georgia. So, I mean, I would have rather played Cincinnati if I was Michigan.
That's just me.
Yeah.
No, but that's what it was. You're gonna tell me about Penn State some more, please. Please tell me about Penn State. Please tell me about them and how they, quote, matter. Tell me about Wisconsin. Tell me about my favorite, Iowa. Let me just jump up on your lap with a cup of hot cocoa, and you tell me all about Iowa football and all the big games they've won, please, because I want to hear. Please tell me the Iowa stories, please. I want to hear them again. This Big Ten right now, D-Mac, in all facets, haven't had a Big Ten basketball national champion since Mateen Cleaves.
So here's the question: which sport? And I think it's easy to answer, is the most disappointing when you look at the over. That I guess is the smoke and mirrors. And it is the basketball.
It's got to be basketball.
The Big Ten should be representing with all these teams that we're talking about. Look at the draft picks coming out. Chet Purdue and this guy and that guy and this guy. Shouldn't the Big Ten, is that the disappointment, I guess, in the basketball, where you can handle the fact, okay, yeah, we beat Ohio State in football. We got to the finals. You take pride in that. Only so many teams do, but the fact of the letdown overall, not just disappointment that Michigan got the furthest, but you were saying you're the only media guy here, Sam Flynn, on the state of Michigan that was disappointed with the season. But what about on the whole scale? It's the Big Ten basketball program, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got to be, right?
Which is really, because that's supposed to be, isn't that supposed to be up there with the ACC and supposed to be up there with all the Big East?
That's what I'm told.
Isn't that what, right?
That's what I'm told. And then I watch, I watch a team with a number 4, number 5 overall draft pick. I watched that team get beat by St. Peter's in the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Is it more so, too, because guys with the one and dones and the development and stuff like this, that you don't have a team? It's all just more individual.
Everybody else has figured it out. Teams in the ACC, they figured out how to press on with it.
But, I mean, is it more of a Big Ten
I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Because you have a lot. Do you have more? Okay, here's the question. Are there more Big Ten players being drafted to the NBA in recent years or than in the past? Right? I'm just trying to make the analogy of the basketball being focused on the individual. So the team development and stuff like this, so the talent might be there individually in the Big Ten, but as a team, they haven't figured it out like the ACC or somewhere else.
But is the talent,
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Is the
I'm
talent
not the basketball
good?
guy.
Yeah, I mean, is the talent
Where's
good?
the guys that are drafted? You just said number 4, number 5 guy. The prospective talented individual players to be drafted, but they're without team success.
Yeah, and it's weird to me. Chuck, Neal, who in the Big Ten had a better season than? No, I guess nobody, right?
No, but that's the point. So
that's the
Sam
point.
says
though.
It's disappointing that they only got this, they finished this and this, and they had the most successful season. So that's blatantly on the rest of the league, that there's no competition or everybody else hasn't figured out the team game.
Yeah.
Right? To win as a team, because obviously they're developing draft picks. Guys are getting drafted out of the Big Ten, are they not? So I don't know what they got to figure it out, but it seems like they're a step behind other leagues.
Yeah, and let me see here. CJ Schneider said, I said they went 1-1 in games that mattered, not 1-2. Michigan State game matters. Until you guys start beating them, it matters. You know what I'm saying? I maybe it doesn't matter to you. I don't know. You play like it doesn't matter to you. I'm just going by what happens. And when Michigan State lines it up, they know they're going to beat you. Is that fair to you guys? Tell me. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean,
they're playing like they know they're going to beat them.
Yeah, I love it. I love every minute of it. And I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie. At that first half, when the first half ended in that game, I was very nervous. I was like, all right, they're moving the ball well. We don't have guys that can cover them in the secondary. I was pretty scared. I thought we were gonna lose, and then
till you didn't.
Till Kenneth Walker came in and put that thing on the table and said, take that.
Yeah, basketball. Here's the thing too with the Big Ten, and I was talking about this with some of my basketball friends. D-Mac, do you notice the correlation with the fall off of Big Ten basketball with the fall off of high school basketball talent in Michigan? Have you noticed that? Mr. Basketball in the state of Michigan this year went to Saginaw Valley State. Think about that for a minute, and that's not a knock on Saginaw Valley State.
So, is that bad that it went to Saginaw Valley State?
Yeah, because you're talking about look at the previous runs of Mr. Basketballs in the state of Michigan.
Could be anybody that plays in the state.
Yeah, Chris Webber was a Mr. Basketball.
But he was Country Day.
Yeah, in the state of Michigan. He was state of Michigan.
Saginaw Valley is a high school?
No,
he went to college. He's going to college to Saginaw Valley State University to play basketball.
Oh, okay. Right.
You see the difference?
Yeah. No, I mean,
Chris Webber.
I remember it used to be
like Sam Flannel just got a look on his face. What do you got, Sam Flannel?
But to your point, Neal, there it is. It is to the point where you look around and why, Neal, we can say, is Saginaw Valley State ever made a tournament game?
Well, they're not Division I.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
now that Mr. Basketball in Michigan, which used to be a Chris Webber, a guy that was highly touted across the country, maybe a top. Well, can I say that the winner of Mr. Basketball in Michigan, arguably is top 5-10 guy in the country, usually back the way it used to be.
Sam, the look on your face was too good not to go to you right now.
I just got to look at some of the Mr. Basketballs recently. We've got DeJuan Anderson in 2011 who went to Wagner. We've got Romeo Weems in 2019 who went to DePaul. Scooby Johnson 2020. Cassius was obviously a great college player.
Yeah.
Deontay Davis. He was good at Michigan State. Matt Costello, he was a bum at Michigan State. The best one, Monte Morris in 2013. He got drafted. He's a pretty good player for the Nuggets, but no Chris Webbers. No superstars. You go back even further. How long has it been since Wilson Chandler was decent?
It's just that's an interesting.
Matt Costello was not a bum.
That's an interesting point, though. I was talking with some basketball people, and they said, it's not tough to figure out. When you start putting it back together, you start putting the puzzle together, man, it's not hard to figure out.
Since Chris Webber, really, it's been Jason Richardson won it in 99, Shane Battier, in 97. But other than that, it's been Chris Webber. And even before him, it was Glenn Rice in 85. But not a lot of elite superstars, especially in the NBA. Honestly, just one.
Did Amani Bates didn't win Mr. Basketball?
According to this list, he did not. Is that
he went to prep school though, right?
Yeah,
that's true. Does it have to be? A public or private
Yeah, I mean,
school.
like once you dip, you're not in high school here anymore.
That's
So,
fair.
Oh, and don't forget about the great Foster Lawyer in 2018.
Hey,
worst.
Foster Lawyer had a crazy high school tournament run. Like, that man was going nuts, scoring like 40 points a game, could not be stopped.
No, that's true, and he was pretty good at Davidson, but at Michigan State, he was. I mean, Spencer.
Yeah,
he's
he's too small to play guard in the Big Ten.
Oh yeah, he was terrible.
Yeah, so maybe that's as far as the Michigan angle goes. Maybe that correlates it because when you look when Michigan State won the Natty, Flintstones.
Yeah,
pretty much all Michigan kids. So it's an interesting dynamic. That's all I'm saying.
But you know what? Don't get it like we're poo-pooing the fact that Michigan was dominant in all those 4 sports. Because, if you're a fan, then your hat's off to it. But you're looking at the why, it's just, you know what? We need it a little bit better. And the disappointment, right, is the fact that basketball might not be what it used to be, especially in the state. And that's disappointing.
Yeah.
You see in the chat there, a lot of the high school kids go out of state to prep.
Right.
Just like Bates did. So the evolution, what has evolved and continues to evolve as we broadcast live from the headquarters of Lady Jane's studio, or Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Birmingham. It's definitely awesome to get off the air and get myself looking great for one of their talented stylists. So I highly recommend that you get into Lady Jane's today. There's 168 of them across the country. They're all open between 10 and 8, 7 days a week. So you walk in, you sign in, you sit down before you know it. Get the King's treatment. Boom. Looking good. Lady Jane's Haircut. It's wicked awesome. Big D Energy. Be right back.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brandon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Back at it. Coming down the stretch, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, D-Mac, Darren McCarty. We got Sam Flannel in the house. We got Spencer Raxter. Spencer, you got some SEC news?
Yeah, I just got an update from Bleacher Report that says Texas A&M school officials asked the SEC to fine or suspend Nick Saban for his comments about the Aggies buying their entire recruiting class.
Okay, like down in the third paragraph or something like that, does it say they particularly want that suspension for October 8th?
Yeah.
To take effect October 8th?
Can you make sure it just happens, when he's playing us? That would be cool.
That game, D-Mac, October 8th, Alabama, Texas A&M.
Is that gonna be?
It's going to be electric.
Is that going to be the most watched college football game of the year?
I mean, I would think it has a very good chance to. I can't wait for that game. I can't wait.
What if Alabama just goes out there?
What did you say? That's October 8th? So you still got 4 months, right? 4 months and there's going to be more and more and more. I think to your point, Spencer, that it's going to be one of the most hyped up games because you have so much time to prepare it. And Saban and who's the coach for
Jimbo Fisher.
And Jimbo, they ain't backing off.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it is that they know they're personal, they know each other. Jimbo was on Saban's staff. They know the dirty.
They
know the dirty, so it's who's gonna crack that unwritten rule and cross the line? Because you can admit, Neal, playing these college football or using that Nick Saban power, right? Like the way that he throws things out there. Oh, you better get a hold of this NIL before this. Oh, and we need money and other teams. Like the words. It's gotten to the point where has he crossed the line? But we could say, okay, they're teetering on the line. One of them's going to cross it. One of them's going to cross it. They got 4 months left. it's must-see TV. That's what I will say. I don't know if it's going to be the most watched, but it's going to be must-see TV for sure.
Yeah, Texas A&M will have some potential landmines to, navigate before they get to that matchup. They got they're playing Miami this year, Miami, Florida. They'll host Arkansas. They'll be at Mississippi State the week before the Alabama game. So,
but it's still one of those things that everybody's got that marked on the calendar. That might,
but if you're a good team, you'll win
that's
those
March
games.
26th, right?
Yeah, and there are the elements, D-Mac. Like it was, again, we've talked about this in the past, obviously. Like with the Red Wings Avalanche thing, it wasn't just that they didn't like each other, that you guys did. It was you guys played for the ultimate stakes. Both teams were lifting cups. There were high-level players. Oh, by the way, you guys hated each other. All that. I mean, you need all that stuff. This is almost that on steroids,
because of the
isn't
talent
it?
level too, and
Yeah.
because it's at the top, and because you have Nick Saban, who's the number
D-Mac,
one
this
coach.
is a rivalry on steroids right now, isn't it?
And because it's college football too.
Yeah.
So I mean, that gets even more hype and more hype and more hype because everybody will tune into that Saturday game.
Yeah. So I mean, it is. It's going to be electric. It's going to be electric in that stadium, man. It's going to be electric.
That would be like, seriously, that would be one to go to. That would be like a buck for that game right there. Like that's if you're not, you don't even have to you have to just be a college football fan, just a fan of drama like that, just to see what will happen.
Yeah. Mike G says Michigan did well in all four sports, 4 great runs. Give them their due. Has nothing to do with the Big Ten. Hoops, hockey, baseball have to play outside of the Big Ten to make those runs. Well, Mike, I mean, it goes back to what we talked about, too, when I was talking about when they lost in baseball. The thousands of Michigan baseball fans, the baseball season only got to last one weekend for you guys, so I felt bad about that. I know when Oakland beat Michigan at Michigan this year, there were 100 people at that game. So don't. Now you want to claim it, right? Like now it's, they had a great run. They'd have to be in the South and all that stuff. When there were 100 people there, I'm upset and sad for Michigan baseball fans because their season only lasted 72 hours for them. As quick as it started, it was over. And that's sad to me because I know there's a lot of longtime Michigan baseball fans out there.
Are you a Michigan baseball fan?
No, and honestly, Mike G, I could argue that football was a good run and hockey, but basketball most certainly was not. And Michigan baseball didn't even make the College World Series, so come on. Basketball and baseball were not great runs. They were okay. And in basketball, I will say this until the day I die, that was a very disappointing season. Like I said on the show a while ago, all that Sweet 16 run was a little bit of icing on top of a crap cake.
Okay. I did want to bring this to everybody's attention, too. The Tampa Bay Lightning are in the Stanley Cup Finals, as we know, as they knocked out the Rangers. And, we talked about this on Friday about the C.J. Carr situation and just the vile stuff that fans were tweeting out there. Like somebody with these tweets, and I know, we talk about keyboard warriors and hiding behind a keyboard and all that stuff. Still, though, like the alarming thing for me is in somebody's mind, they came up with this, read it, and said, okay, this is what I want to put associated with my name. Like they thought that through and they did it. This other thing that's going on at sporting events, too, all the time. And I don't know if you guys saw this at the Rangers Tampa Bay Lightning game. I believe this was game 5, correct, at Madison Square Garden. The Ranger fans, again, I don't know why we treat people like this, especially over a sporting event, but we do. And Spencer, you got the footage. I mean, give everybody a look. Here we go again, everybody. But the way that people look.
You don't know what's up. Oh no.
So there's that, that happened, D-Mac, at the hockey game. We're seeing this more and more as well. What are we doing, man?
Yeah, there's no room for that. I mean, I don't know. You used to go to the Silver Dome and, make sure you're watching in the upper deck because
Yeah.
there was some doozies in there. I mean, I guess it happens in sports. I can honestly say I went to Madison Square Garden. I think we were in New York. I was probably like 10 years old. We went to a game. And if you've never been to those fans, that doesn't really surprise me. That sort of New York crowd. But that's just a society issue. To me, that's not a hockey issue. That's just a people issue.
Right.
And that's a lack of respect. So, I mean, you can't.
And if you want to boil
do
it,
that.
If you want to boil it all down,
you can't do that. So, I mean, I don't know.
Come to find out on the follow-up, this guy was arrested before he left. Before he left the arena, and and going back to it too, like flipping through the responses to all of it, it was, the guy shouldn't have been talking. The guy shouldn't have been talking. Yeah, well, let me know how the judge takes that. I'm sure the judge will say, oh yeah, you're right. He shouldn't have been talking. You're free to go.
Right.
It's just.
Well, and it didn't. Here's the thing.
He didn't even square up with the dude either.
That was a sucker punch, or that was a sucker punch.
Yeah.
Right. That was dirty because the guy, it's not like they squared off or whatever,
right.
and you're gonna come. That's just gutless, right? And I know that he's walking forward, but dude, that was just like that. That was like the sucker punch, all sucker punches. I don't know. Karma's real.
Yeah. So again, I hope for his sake the judge buys that.
And I mean, there is some good Rangers fans out there because that's like a 2-minute long video, and for the next 2 minutes, it's all
the
Rangers fans
if you see that, it's all Rangers fans huddled
and they're
around
helping
helping this guy and whatever. But I mean, that's all. What if you can't control yourself, then don't go in public.
Right. So it's just.
What would you do if that happened in front of? What if that's your dad or your brother or that doesn't? That's just bad.
Yeah. So I know. I just wanted our daily reminder of how awful we are to each other. So that's certainly the way that it is. And yeah, it was good to see the other fans and everything, tend to a guy who just got knocked out from behind. I guess that's a huge problem I have with it too. Square up next time, man. Mm-hmm. Square up next time. If you have that big of a problem, square up. The summer of Cintron is here. Now Cintron available at your local Kroger store. You can pick some up the next time you're out grocery shopping. Scoop up 2 cans of it for just $4 to give it a spin. I'm telling you guys, Cintron's a new energy drink for the active lifestyle. Checks off all the boxes. Great taste, good for you. They're official proud partners of Little Caesars Arena, the Detroit Pistons, the Red Wings, the Tigers, and Detroit City FC. Drink it, live it with Cintron.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
Neal Ruhl for the Monroe Street Midway. Bedrock and Rocket Mortgage have turned an old parking lot into a massive outdoor playground right in the middle of downtown next to Campus Martius. Roller skating, basketball courts, a mini golf course, food trucks, live music performances, art installations as well. Fun place to visit, whether you're out on a date, you have the family downtown, or just hanging out before a Tigers game. They even have Wi-Fi, so you can take your computer and get your work done in the heart of the city. It's a Monroe Street Midway, right next to Campus Martius, brought to you by Bedrock and Rocket Mortgage. Final segment of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, D-Mac, Darren McCarty. If we can squeeze some time in for the Ask D-Mac, we will, but I did want to touch on this. This has a bit of a local tie to it. Bryson DeChambeau has been dropped by Rocket Mortgage after he signed on with the Live Tour, so the local company Rocket Mortgage dropping Bryson DeChambeau. And I'll tell you what, D-Mac, it's almost like these golf media guys have some marching orders or something. I don't know where it would come from, but But they have come out as a unified front
Yeah, but if you
for
look
integrity.
at where they get where their bread's buttered.
Yeah, I don't know, T-Mac.
You know,
you
like
tell
I
me.
love Jay Monahan, the commissioner of the PGA. We're not going to tolerate this for all our long-serving PGA committed members and stuff like that. At the end of the day, you know what? Competition breeds competition. Control your own. My thing is, why you hating on somebody, you know, to go out there to compete and the fact that the money's out there? So if the PGA, instead of crying about it, do better. Right, I see, and that's the way it's going to be. But you think Charles Schwartzel, for whatever his guarantee was, but his $4 million purse for first prize, he really worries about what you think right now. So, I mean, I think it's going to be successful. It all comes down to, can you support it? Can you back it? Can you fund it? And there's an endless money pit from the Saudis. So I think that you're going to hear this. It's going to be the same thing. It happens in wrestling all the time. People want to choose between, who do you like, WWE or AEW? You can only pick one. I like everything.
You can consume them
I
both?
like everything. So if it's golf and it's hitting the ball and I like to watch golf or whatever, I don't care where it comes from. But it's not. I don't think it's going away. I mean, I don't know what the numbers were. I don't know how do you gauge success or not other than guys going over there?
And that's it, that's people are going to run their checklist, right?
Other than their lineup.
They're going to say, "What about the TV ratings? Look at the crowds."
Nobody cares. No.
When you don't care,
right?
When you have infinite money and you don't care about,
it's a hobby.
It is. It's a well-funded hobby.
Did you see what Phil walked up to when he walked up on the green for the first time? He was like, money, 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 money.
Yeah, I mean,
It
it's
was
just.
awesome.
It is. It's just one of those things where I don't think that people even still fully understand what the PGA Tour is going up against here. When you have unlimited money and you don't care about profit, you'll never stop, right? Because it's obviously about competition for these guys.
Everybody else keeps score differently than they do.
Right.
Because there's an extra zero at the end. And the reality is when you've seen a guy like Dustin Johnson, who is a 20-plus time winner, multiple major winner, whatever, make a career $75 million in one stroke of the pen, he's made almost twice career earnings. Where do I sign?
Speaking
Hopefully
of
I have
that,
an event in Detroit.
we got time for a couple Ask D-Max here. Somebody wants to know, DB Coop 25, what's your best golf score?
73 times. The Heathers, it's 3 under going at 18. Hit the second one into the back hill. Had a sick. I was lucky to make 5. 70 in invitation, 370s. If I play good, I'm mid 70s, bad around 80. That's what happens when you're the world's greatest 8.
The world's greatest 8.
That's it. Because
Oh, I know.
being
Yeah.
an 8 is cruise
It's
control.
perfect. Yeah.
You can make your mistakes and don't have to grind. So.
Somebody else wanted to know, ask D-Mac, how old were you when you put on skates for the first time?
Probably about 3 or 4 when I put them on, but I didn't use them till I was 7 because I didn't like the equipment. The garter belt.
Yeah.
Rubbed my leg. I didn't like it, so I wasn't allowed to play. Next year, I liked it. It's pretty funny how that used to work.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Absolutely. Ask D-Mac, will there be more Grinder shows coming up than the 2 that you already announced?
Absolutely. Yeah. Big plans, obviously Thursday in Marysville, and then the Woodhaven, but there'll be announcements down the road. I'm excited. I saw Mama Jan. I saw you asked what song. Obviously, Be Me's a great one, but you know what's funny, Neal? I'm really looking forward to doing the song that I wrote. It's called Affliction, because it's sort of my ode to my addiction and getting it out in forefront. And after rehearsing through it, it hit me really good. So that one was sort of the surprise of the rehearsal.
Kevin Newsham, this will be the final one. D-Mac, when can we see you and Calvin do some business together? You guys could call a strain Megatron McCarty.
You know what? Put that out in the universe, bro. I put it out in the universe. Maybe sooner than later. Maybe later than sooner. You don't know, but it makes sense, doesn't it? A couple guys might know a little bit about pain. Yeah. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
I like where your head's at.
Speaking of that, you'll be out for the next 2 days, right? Big business dealings popping.
I'm heading to GR Grand Rapids for the LPGA event. A couple get to play their big charity events tomorrow at Eagle Valley, and then get to play and defend. Not last year we defended, but we won the Pro-Am at 17 under with Angel Stanford 2 years ago. Myself, Greg Steffen, Dan Poole, and Pat Peak. So get to go do that again. I'll be back on Thursday.
Pat Peak, man, I was a big Ambassadors fan. That was my guy for the Detroit
Dude,
Ambassadors.
I'll tell you this, one of the most talented guys. I played junior against him, whatever. If he's had 27 ankle surgeries, if he didn't rupture his Achilles heel, he would have been
a beast.
An unbelievable hockey player. To this day, plays alumni when he feels better and stuff like that, still stick hands.
Tell him, man, he was goated on the OHL sticks for me.
Goated on the sticks.
Goated on the sticks. For Darren McCarty, for Sam Flannel, for Spencer Raxter. My name is Neal Ruhl. Thanks, everyone, for tapping in to Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.